Here we go. Awesome. Welcome, guys. We are on Coach University week number 5. I'm going to say this every single time. If you haven't finished week 1, 2, 3, and 4, you really shouldn't be doing this training. They build upon each other, and the action items build upon each other. So if you haven't done the action items from week 1, 2, 3, 4, pause this, drop off this, don't listen to this, don't even go through this until you finish those. They really do compound on each other, and you have to do the previous homework assignments to be able to do these current homework assignments. We're going to give you this today. So I want to dive in, and the first thing that we're going to cover today is called Diamond Strong. And if you guys remember back in week 1 of Coach University, we talked about becoming a 500 PV coach. And I've had a lot of questions. What does 500 PV coach mean? And so 500 PV coach means 500 personal volume. Personal volume is your orders, anything you order, and all of your customers' orders. So when it comes to personal volume, it's everything that you get paid commissions on or that you get a discount on. Right? So your discount is your order, or you're earning commissions from your customers' orders. So the goal is to become a 500 PV coach or more. 500 PV coach means you have about 6 to 12 customers, and depending on what they are ordering to fulfill their healthy formula, it's anywhere from $150 to over $500 in income, depending on what people are getting started with. So for example, if somebody gets started with you with a BOD annual all access, not the pack, but just the $99 all access, you get 40%. You get $40 of that $100 that person orders. And it's 38 personal volume points. 38 personal volume points. So if you had 10 people order that, it would be 380 personal volume points, but it would be $400 of income. So that's why there's such a variation in the commissions from $150 to over $500, depending on what people are ordering from you. And so 500 PV coach, we talked about, is your goal. Now, when we talk about Diamond Strong, what I'm saying is the goal is for you to become a 500 PV coach. And then those coaches that start with you that want to build this business, the goal is for them to become a 500 PV coach. And then when they sponsor 2 people, to teach those people to become 500 PV coaches. So when we're saying Diamond Strong, a lot of times people will become a coach, they'll sign up 8 people, they'll have 2 emeralds, and they're all discount coaches. They're all people that are just ordering 90 PV, they're getting their Shakeology every month, they stay on their Shakeology, and they're a diamond, but they're what we call like a bare diamond. And so they don't have 500 PV coaches. A diamond like that, which is kind of, or a skeleton diamond, which is 90 PV instead of that 500 PV coach diamond, they're going to earn about $54 in team cycle bonuses. All you have to know about team cycle bonuses at this point is team cycle bonuses are paid off of the personal volume of the team. So it's called team volume when it's not your volume and it's other coaches' volume. It's called team volume then. And so as a Rocky diamond or a 90 PV diamond, you're only going to earn $54 in cycle bonuses. Now, if you are Diamond Strong, that means all of your coaches or all of your coaches that are building, 8 coaches have 500 PV or more. So they are a 500 PV coach. Your cycle bonuses are going to be almost $500, right? Now, if they are building what we talked about last week, which is an Emerald Tribe, so if every coach you personally sponsor, you become a 500 PV coach, you teach your 2 coaches that you first sign up to become 500 PV coaches. They teach their 2 coaches to become 500 PV coaches, and you build this Emerald Tribe, this duplication. You can earn anywhere from $3,600 to $5,400 in team cycle bonuses by becoming a Diamond Strong 500 PV coach. And really, it starts with you. It sounds super complicated, but it starts with you. It starts with you helping 6 to 12 customers and ensuring that you are a 500 PV coach. Now, guys, this takes time. This doesn't happen immediately. Some people, some coaches, Lauren is a perfect example. She has done every single week of the Coach University. She shows up, she listens to the Coach University, she goes, she grabs the resource document, she implements the homework assignments, and she is only been a coach for about a month. She has 3 coaches on her team, and she's a 400 PV coach. Brand new, first month, 400 PV coach. I believe she will be a 500 PV coach within the next week, no problem. She has only been a coach for about, by that point, about 6 weeks. And in 6 weeks, she's become a 500 PV coach. Now she can duplicate that with her team. She can help them go through the Coach University, help them take those do those homework assignments. And then that will help build 500 PV coaches for her team. What is so great about that is everyone then is earning commissions. And together as a team, we're earning more team cycle bonuses, which is going to help grow our income. And we're going to dive into this concept of 500 PV coach even more. In December, we are going to be doing a 500 PV coach challenge. So be on the lookout in our team page and Ignite Your Life. Be on the lookout in that group for the 500 PV coach challenge that's coming up so that you can ensure that in the month of December, you become a 500 PV coach so that you can duplicate that within your teams. All right, I'm going to pass it over to Whitney. Uh-oh, you're still muted. You're still muted, Whit.
Okay, should be able to hear me now. If my video and sound are a little off, just ignore my video and you can listen. Okay, so I want to share with you guys the Beachbody story. And this is something that I was a little rocky on before I went to London. And once I learned it, it became so much easier for me to share about the company. And it just kind of reaffirmed my beliefs about the company. So I think it's super important in any company you work for or you own or you are running your own business, you need to know kind of the story behind it because that is what speaks to people a lot of the time. So I'm going to share with you how Beachbody got started. And it was in 1998. 2 guys, Carl Deichler and John Congdon, decided they were both very successful in the infomercial world of, they both became awesome in their company. And they had this idea together of, why don't we take fitness into infomercials? Like, what about if we helped people who didn't have the money for a gym membership, or they had no time to get to a gym, or they didn't have the confidence to walk into a gym? What if we had the solution for them that they could do at home, and then we marketed it through infomercials? And so they approached their company they were working for about this idea, and they got so shut down. They were like, you guys, that is never going to work. That is so dumb. And so John and Carl were like, all right, well, we're going to do it ourselves. So that, you guys, if nothing else, if you pull nothing else from this company got started off of people not believing in them. And I know a lot of us have a lot of our doubters. So that's why it speaks to me, is because nobody believed in them. Nobody believed in their idea. So they decided to go off, do it themselves, and they created something called P90X, teamed up with Tony Horton. And guess what? It was a big, fat flop. Nobody got P90X. It did not succeed as an infomercial. 1 in 40 people who saw the infomercial actually bought the program. The 39, here's what they discovered. The 39 people who didn't buy, they weren't buying because either they needed more information or they didn't want to call an 800 number for fitness because they didn't trust it. It didn't feel personal to them. And you guys all know how fitness and health is such a personal feeling. So, other facts they found out, 3 out of 10 people who did actually buy P90X on the TV, 3 out of 10 actually got results. 5 out of 10 didn't even open the box. 2 out of 10 started, and within 14 days, they stopped. So Carl and John were thinking, we need to talk to these 3 people who got results and figure out what worked for them. So they studied them, they sent surveys, they talked to these 3 people, and they found out that the reason these 3 people succeeded was because they had a buddy. They had somebody they were doing it with, or they had somebody who was helping them through it, or they had somebody that they connected with through kind of the grassroots community of what was Beachbody at the time, which was actually called Million Dollar Body. And they kind of worked through it together. 3 out of 10. So they started thinking, okay, I think we're onto something. We need to create a buddy system. We need to create kind of a mentor system of people helping people. And that was how this idea of an ambassador program got started, was let's have somebody who's been successful with it help the next person be successful with it. And let's build trust in our company, one success story at a time. And then they thought, well, we need to compensate these ambassadors. Like, they are the ones selling our stuff for us because clearly our infomercial isn't working. So how can we compensate these people? And they looked at what was the most kind of tried and true proven business model, which was the network marketing model. But they wanted to do it differently, because even then, 1998, network marketing still had like a tingy name to it. Nobody was like super excited about something that was called network marketing. So they decided to call it network helping. And it was the first time that really an ambassador was somebody who was first focused on their own journey, who could then help someone else through their journey. So what was just started out as an infomercial company, P90X, $250 million, and they were pretty much capped with a few programs, turned into, with the network, of the fastest growing health and fitness company in the world, which it is today, and we have $1 billion in sales. So your call to action, just kind of on this point, and I hope this story kind of resonated with you, gave you some tips, things you didn't know about it, is just to practice telling that Beachbody story, or pull a few things that resonated with you. And don't be afraid to share those, because I think so often, we tie other people out there, tie the name Beachbody, or we tie the name, what's another one, like Herbalife, or we tie any of those kind of big network marketing names. We just have a theory behind them. And a lot of times people don't know what it actually is. So practice the Beachbody story, and don't be afraid to share that when you're talking to either new coach prospects or new clients. All right, Christy's going to talk about the art of asking next.
Awesome. I love the Beachbody story. And guys, the resource document today I created is incredible. So when we finish, make sure that you have time to go through it and review everything. So let's talk about asking people to make a decision. I think oftentimes this is the hardest when you're getting started, and it's the most fun once you get really great at it. And I posted something in our team page yesterday about how passion really comes once you are engaging in the process and you master it. And I was like, oh my goodness, that's so true. Why am I so passionate about what I do? Because I've mastered it, and I engage in the process, and I continue to learn. And as you take action on things, and as you ask more people, you'll gain more confidence, and you'll gain more knowledge, and you'll gain more expertise, and you'll gain more mastery of it. So the art of asking is the same thing. At first it's really scary, and then you get so passionate about doing it, and it becomes so easy and fun. And guys, easy is earned. Easy is earned. Is this easy for me? Heck yes. Was it hard when I started? So hard. But art of asking. So let's dive in. You have to ask people to make a decision. Because if you're not asking people to make a decision, they're not going to get started, and you're not going to be able to help them on their journey. And you don't know how to manage your time then. You don't know who to give your time to help them get the results that they're after, right? So what I find is people do not ask because they fear rejection. They fear people saying no. They fear people saying yes. They actually fear people saying yes, and like, am I actually going to be able to help them? They fear success. They have self-doubt. They're doubting themselves. Can I really help them? Am I going to be a great coach for them? I just won't ask. They have a lack of follow-up. Maybe you didn't follow up with them when you said you were going to follow up on Friday, so you have this fear because you didn't do it. Or you have a desire to be busy. I know a lot of you have a desire to be busy. Like you want to go through all the trainings, but then you don't take the action and do the homework. Or you want to talk with all these people and just go back and forth and feel like you're being productive because you're talking about their goals, but you never get to the point of asking. Okay, guys, today, action. What did I just say? Engagement and action and mastery builds passion. So if you want to be passionate about the art of asking, you just got to dive in and do it. And you got to put those things aside, because if you sincerely want to help someone, when you ask them, that intent will come across. And if they aren't ready, they'll tell you no, and that's okay. Most people say no. I think it's something crazy, like 78% of people say yes after you've asked them 8 to 12 times. 78% of people say yes after being asked and saying no 8 to 12 times. Crazy. So you have to ask. You have to start that process now. But if you truly care about helping people, that intent comes through. And I want you to think of asking as being that advisor versus being that salesperson. You're not trying to close a deal. You're trying to advise them to help them get to where they want to go. So keep that in mind as you're asking people. And here's some suggestions for you on how you can better ask for people to make the decision to start. Be bold. Be confident when you're coming. You know, a lot of people say, well, how do you get so many people to sign up? I'm confident. I'm asking them to make that decision, and I'm confident that I want them to make that decision. Make it easy for them to decide. Express confidence in them. Tell them why you know they will be successful. Tell them the abilities that they have and the confidence you have in them. Instill that in them. Give them options. Suggest a solution. People like options. Follow up, but don't chase people. Give a follow-up date. Don't just drop in out of the blue. Tell them you're going to be following up with them. I always say, is it okay if I follow up with you in December? Is it okay if I follow up with you in January? Would it be better if I sent you a message middle of January to see if it's a better time for you? So keep following up and keep focused on why it will be good for them. Because then when your interest is in sincerely helping them, their willingness to make a positive decision increases. So today's homework assignment, today's action, I want you to look at your contact list that we created in week 1, and I want you to highlight the people you've sent information to already, and those ones who seem to be on the fence, and I want you to ask them for a decision. There's no win or lose in this exercise. It's just about helping people move forward, and it's about you learning a new skill. So I want you, once you do this, I want you to share your results with your coach or post it in Ignite in our team page. Or if you're still struggling with this, share your concerns in Ignite. Comment on our Coach University post that's pinned to the top of the group, and tag Whitney or I or your coach or other leaders in our team page, and we'll be sure to help you through those concerns so that you can become a master at asking, so that you can find passion in actually doing this. All right, I am going to pass it back over to Whitney, and she's going to be covering
Follow-ups.
Right.
Okay, and it's actually very similar to what Christy just tapped into. And it's that idea behind the first time you ask somebody, just bank on the fact that they're going to say no. That's what I've learned. I would say that if I looked at my current challenge group right now and my current coaches, 90% of them said no to me the first time I invited them either to the coach opportunity or to a challenge group. 90%, 9 out of 10. That is not great odds, right? So I always, when my coaches are saying like, oh, I just keep hearing the word, like just nobody wants my help. Nobody, needs me right now. I just tell them, you know what? Guess what? You just keep inviting, because I promise you, those people are going to keep watching what you're doing. You're going to keep posting success stories of your own, of your challengers, and those people are going to come back to you. So Most people need more than 1 or 2 conversations with you before they're ready to make a decision. So really follow up. You could even change that word around to just meaning continue building a relationship with them. More than 1 to 2 conversations with them. If you think about somebody who just started 1 conversation with you and asked you to buy something, would you buy it from them? Probably not. So what makes you think you're any different than when you're reaching out to people? So have more than 1 to 2 conversations with them. They're starting to watch you on social media. They're starting to see the conversations that, you're having with other people. They're starting to see the success. So the magic comes in that follow-up, because it's not about selling. Business is about building relationships. So following up is one of the things on your BAT, and you guys should be doing it daily, at least 3 times. But guess what? You're not going to have people to follow up with if you haven't done the first step, which is invite them in the first place, okay? So invite them, and then within a week, within 2 weeks, start following up with them. It shows them, and in addition, the follow-up shows them that you're not just concerned about that initial sale. When you first reached out to them, it shows them that you care about them and that you want to see how they're doing, if what they said was going well for them is still working for them, or if they need your help again. So remember, when you ask people to join a challenge group, you're also asking them to change some habits that sometimes takes a little while for them to get their head wrapped around, maybe leading a healthier lifestyle. To us, it seems second nature sometimes. Oh yeah, why wouldn't you eat clean and exercise? But maybe put yourself back in the beginning before you did those things and think of how scary it was. That's where they are right now. So good questions to kind of encourage them to share their thoughts and their feelings. I've got 4 of them for you. And keep these for like your follow-up process. I know when I have questions in front of me that I can ask, I feel way more confident about reaching out to someone again. So here's 4 of them, and we'll include these obviously in the document. The first one is, hey, just wanted to reach out, see if you're ready to jump into the challenge group we talked about. Those are great for those people that were kind of on the fence. Number 2, did you have any questions about the information I sent over to you? I'm here to help. Boom, quick, easy, done. Number 3, I was just thinking about you and wanted to touch base real quick and see how things are going. How are you? You're not asking about a sale. You're just asking how things are going for them, right? And then the last one, you'll also want to follow up regularly I'm just talking to you now, but you'll also want to follow up regularly with your new customers during kind of their first few months after they've gotten their product. They're doing really well. Don't leave them stranded thinking, oh, well, yeah, she got a challenge pack out of me. Now I never heard from her again. I have so many people who reach out and want me to coach them because their coach abandoned them. Do not be that coach, okay, that abandons your people once they get a challenge pack from you. Be the follow-up. Be the person who gets them those results. And then following up with coach prospects. This one is slightly different, and there's 2 tips I have for you on this one. And I think it's a little bit scarier sometimes for people to invite to the coach opportunity. So tip 1 that I have for you about this is just belief. And I want you to think to yourself for a second, what is your belief when it comes to your prospective coach becoming a successful coach? What is your belief in your ability to lead them to become a successful coach? If you're not sure about your ability to lead them, or if you're not sure if this business works because maybe it hasn't worked for you yet, chances are you're going to hesitate to sponsor them. So here's what it takes to make that important shift when you're following up with people about the coach opportunity. Keep this in mind, you guys, and write it down if you need to. The success or failure of your personally sponsored coach isn't because of you. Your responsibilities for your coaches are to direct them in the right place where they can get the training they need, the resources to be successful. You're helping plug them into this new coach training that we have, this new coach university. The rest is up to them. And here's the other thing. You don't get to take credit for their success. The same way you can't be blamed for their failure. So take you out of it. It's not about you. Okay? Know that this business works by looking at stories like Christy's, by looking at every coach's story on the National Wake Up Call. Look and see that it does work, and we have the resources to help it work for them and take your story completely out of it. And that shift helped me big time in upping my recruiting numbers and helping enroll more people. So oftentimes our coaches' belief and our own belief in our potential affects our prospects' success. And I don't want it to. I want you to disconnect those two things. You are not responsible for their success, and you are not responsible for their failure either. They are, okay? So, and then number 2 is very similar. It's just letting go. Letting go of the emotion you have tied to the conversation you're about to have with them about coaching, and instead go into it with almost like a mentorship mentality of, I'm just going to tell you about this awesome opportunity, and it's totally up to you whether you take it and run with it or you don't want to right now. Either way, that's totally fine. That way you don't find yourself like crying at home, when somebody said no to you or 20 people said no to you, and you're just being kind of a director. You're just saying, hey, this is available. The same way, hey, Tide bleach is now on sale at Target. Like those facts, right? Are just, here's what's available to you. I think you'd be really freaking good at this. That's your responsibility. Let go of the emotion that is tied to it, that a lot of us have tied to it without sometimes even realizing we have. So, calls to action. Follow up with a few people from last week or the week before about your challenge group. The one that you're probably running in December. Ours is 25 days of Christmas. So if you don't have one and you want to put people in ours, go for it. But follow up with them. And then 2, connect with those you invited into a sneak peek that have gone into one of your past sneak peeks that we talked about last week, and have a conversation with them. See how they liked it. See what they thought. See if they have more questions. And then make a list of people you want to have on your team. Who's your dream team? And then schedule a time to go talk with them. And I'm going to give you some ideas on scripts of things you can say to those people in this next little section. And the last little call to action, think about what you fear and what your hesitations are behind inviting people to this opportunity. Maybe write them down and work through them with your upline or your sponsor coach, because we can help you work through those things. That way you feel so confident when you call up your dream teamers and you're like, hey, I want to grab coffee with you and run something by you. So those are kind of my tips for follow-up. So kind of wrap up your notes on that topic. And the last topic that I want to go over is enrollment. And we've really gone through a variety of terms under enrollment. We used to call it sponsoring. We've called it recruiting. And I want to kind of start making that shift into a term called enrollment, because sponsoring ties this idea that you have something to do with their success and their failures. You're their sponsor. It's not the case, okay? Recruiting is kind of that icky term that is almost tied to we're getting someone to do something for us. And that's also not what this business is. So you are actually enrolling somebody. You're enrolling them into the possibilities, the commitments, the partnership that happens when they join your team. Okay? So when you learn how to truly enroll people, you'll discover that you've built a team of really strong members that also have the similar beliefs behind this business that you do. And they're the people you want on your team, your list of dream teamers. So, big question, right? And I think this is one that is a hot topic on a lot of team calls. A lot of people want to know this from top leaders. How do you enroll great coaches to your team? I'm going to give you a 5-step process. So you can just kind of jot down 1 through 5. Here's number one. When you want to enroll a great coach, identify who your ideal team member is. So as you're kind of thinking about that, you want to think, what type of coach do you want to surround yourself with? I think of when I'm on a Success Club trip, who do I want at my dinner table? Right? Who's on my plane sitting next to me in those seats, traveling somewhere to a Success Club or to Summit? Who's sharing a room with me? Define what matters most to that person. What do they care about? Think about their needs and their desires. How do they want to feel? So those kind of questions are going to start to help you identify who your ideal team member is. I'm going to move on to number 2, okay? It's create a vision for being a coach and for the team you want to build. So, some kind of thoughts behind this. Describe what you are setting out to do. I kind of think of this as like a team mission statement. What's the dream for your team? Explain just to yourself or have it in your mind about why that matters to you. And know why you choose Beachbody to support your dream. Because let's face it, there's a lot of other companies out there. Why is Beachbody the one that resonates with you and helps you support your dream and helps you build your team? Okay, number 3. Identify your weak links and learn how to share them. I think so often I try and present this perfect stage of what coaching and what my team looks like. And I forget to mention the hard times, the things that aren't so glamorous. And if you instead highlight those, your people, when you enroll them, aren't going to be shocked when all of a sudden things get hard. You let them know that these are the weaknesses, these are the flaws, these are the things that we're going to come into contact with. So you get the fighters, you get the people who are going to stick with you through those hard times and aren't going to bounce when the next shiny thing comes along. So list everything you think might be a weakness or a flaw, either about you, your team, Beachbody, whatever that is. List everything you might need to apologize for in advance. List your fears and concerns. List what you think might be missing in your business. Because those are all talking points that might be the thing that gets somebody to jump on board with them. So if I said something missing in our business is that we have no guys, and I'm talking to a guy, I'm going to be like, you can sure as heck bet you would crush it in this business because you're going to have such a niche that we have not tapped into yet. All right, step 4 is the invitation. How to start the discovery process with someone. This is where the fun part comes in. So acknowledging you're both busy, acknowledging that, hey, would you have some time to meet up, share the common ground. How do you know each other? Why would this be good for them? Why them? What do you notice, admire about them? What do you see and respect? Let them know those things. And then just briefly share the vision or purpose you have for being a coach. Don't make it all about you, but extend the invitation then for them to come do it with you. And then just set up a conversation, a time when you can meet up with them to explore what coaching is, which will lead us into step 5. And that's going and having the conversation. I recommend video chat if you're not near them. I recommend coffee if you do live in the same town with them. And just thank them. When you sit down with them, thank them for meeting up. If nothing else, my hope is that we figure out what's best and what's right for you right now. You can say that to them. Tell them specifically why you invited them to that meeting. Tell them your vision for what you want to do together. And then just tell them what's missing. What are those weak links that you thought about? And then acknowledge your common ground, your story, their story, how you guys are similar. And share what is possible with them. And I always start it with, what if this could blank? What if this could be something amazing that you and I do together? What if this could help you pay your car payment? What if this could bring you home to be with your son? etc. So we are going to post kind of these prompts in the document. So you guys have them. I know you're writing furiously, but you will have these as well. But to kind of close this out, before Christy closes us out, I wanted to share with you our founding coach, Milan Jensen. She had an awesome invite that resonated with me in London. So I wanted to share this with you of how she invites somebody. So she was the first coach, right? And she had no freaking clue what she was inviting to, but John and Carl told her this was going to be great. So she called up her friend Judy, and she said, "Hey Judy, thanks for hearing me out." And she said this, "Listen, we've both been super successful in our careers, and I've always admired how good you are with people. You know, I've struggled with putting myself first, and I've been looking for a way to make that happen. And teaming up with a company that I think has some good ideas to help people get healthy and fit. Something I know we've both wanted. The truth is it has a terrible name. It was $1 Million Baby at that time. And honestly, Beachbody is also a pretty terrible name. We call it our stage name, right? Because that off-puts a lot of people when they don't have a Beachbody." But then she said, "And honestly, I don't know the details of their game plan. We are just getting it off the ground, and there's a lot of things to figure out. But all challenges aside, I can't help but wonder what the two of us could do together. Are you open to having a conversation about what we could do with it? Great. Does tomorrow work? We can meet up and grab some tea and jump on a video conference." And then there's obviously a script for what she said when she was sitting down with Judy, and we'll post that for you guys so that you have it. And my call to action on all of this is just pick 3 people in your life to go have this conversation with. It can be for practice, or it can be real legit people that you want on your dream team. Doesn't matter. Just pick 3 and then start working through this. All right, go for it, Christy.
Awesome, Whitney. So much great information today. It's going to cut off, but we will post the document. You will have all the homework assignments. You will have all the scripts. You will have all of this to read through so that you can go and create that enrollment process that is your story, that is your vision, that is your purpose, that really resonates with the people that you're talking with, so you have confidence in going into these conversations. And remember, it's okay not to be great at first. The idea is to keep doing it, to do it faster, to do it more, so that you can get better at it. I know for Whitney and I, that's really what has helped us, is go for quantity in the beginning, because for you to become to get that quality behind your enrollments, it really just does take diving in and doing it. So we'll get everything posted. You'll have the Google Doc. Make sure to get through the homework assignments before week 6. We have some great stuff coming. Thanks, everyone.